Good morning everybody, this is DearMamaSal and it's Tuesday. It's already 17 degrees Celsius here in Canada, or southern BC, which will make it 63 in northern Washington State if you happen to be there or know where it is. Why do I always do this to myself? Start talking just as I have to put my head in the other direction. Alright, so the word for the day without a doubt is joy. I have had such joy in the last couple of days. And before I forget her name, Katrina, thank you for making me burst out laughing this morning. I assure you I am not a morning person, and it takes quite a bit for me to actually burst out loud laughing. In the mornings. Probably not as much later on in the day, but in the mornings, before I even go to work, you bet. So you guys are probably wondering, what on earth did Katrina say that caused me to burst out laughing? Well, Katrina first wrote to me that I can remember. Doesn't mean it was the first time she wrote to me. About that video I did in which I said it is what it is, and the sooner that we understand that it just is what it is, the sooner life becomes a lot less dramatic, or however I worded it. Well, apparently Katrina really needed to hear that. That's what she told me. And so that was fine. And then the next thing was, she said she was really looking forward to maybe being able to do that in her life one day. And I said, well, why don't you just start doing it? And every time you feel one of these, dramatic things happen, just take a breath and say, it is what it is. Well, I never dreamt she'd actually do it. You know what I mean? I mean, anybody who's into drama that much, is not going to just do it immediately, right? And she did. And to her amazement, it worked. And so that wasn't even the funny bit. The funny bit was when she said, well, the funny bit to me was when she said, maybe her dramatic mood swings were not her most endearing quality, or something like that. And I just burst out laughing. Anybody who has the humor to laugh at themselves when they know that they are a drama queen, I love this person. You gotta go, what's not to love about this person? Katrina, I thank you so much for making me laugh, and it brought me great joy this morning. I just literally, thank goodness I didn't have coffee in my mouth, because I definitely would have had a spurting coffee moment all over my laptop if I had. And I'm still laughing about it, and I must have read it half an hour ago. And so the other joy that I really have to say is I got a quick note from Mel. And we haven't heard a lot from Mel. Now, for those of you who are fairly new to the website and to everything else that we do, Mel joined us maybe 6 months ago. I would think maybe less, maybe 4. Anyway, but she joined us, and I'm not quite sure how she found us. Maybe through Benji and Judy. I'm not sure, but anyway, she joined us, and she told us an incredible story, an absolutely mind-blowing story, and that was that her ex-husband had cancer, and that she had taken him in to look after him during his final days. Well, I want to tell you something. There were a few of us that went, "Oh my God, are you joking?" Not only did she decide to do that, she decided to give up work so that she could do it properly. Now, I want to tell you something. I know that a lot of you have me on some sort of pedestal where I'm sure I don't belong. And you think I'm a pretty good person. I cannot imagine doing what Mel did. But then I guess I never loved anybody that much, right? Or if I did, it wasn't true love. So we all just rolled our eyes in absolute admiration, as opposed to the other sort of roll your eyes. We're all going, "My golly gee, can you believe this?" And then she traveled the last month of his life with us. And we did what we could to support her on the broadcast, and we wrote to her, and we did everything we could to support her while she went through this. And then while she went through the funeral and everything else, and then gave her space to get her life back together. I'm sorry for the small distraction, but I've just got to tell you, I've just passed a car and trailer, and it's movie horses for movies. I've never seen that before. You do know that we're called Hollywood North up here in British Columbia, so obviously there's some filming going on where they need horses. Anyway, so, excuse me. By the way, the coffee's getting really much better. I'm nearly through it all. I can breathe again. There's still a little bit left in just here, but otherwise I'm doing great. My mentality's back. Oh, really nice car behind me. You guys can probably see it. That looks like an Aston Martin. But I could be very wrong. And I normally am, as you guys have found out. No, don't go away. We want to find out who you are. Oh, apparently he's just got his indicator going for entertainment. Here we go. We're going to find out what it is. It is a... no idea. It looked like an Aston Martin to me. We've got some nice cars in British Columbia, I have to say. Alright, so, and for those of you who don't know, I'm big into fast cars. Yeah. Big story that I have never told, and never will, probably. But if you want to see me have an erotic experience, it's when the fast cars come by. Anyway, so Mel, was kind enough to let her know she's doing fine. I mean, I don't mean fine, because we know what fine stands for, right? And for those of you who don't know, it's, I'm going to say fed up, for want of a better word. Fed up, the F is for fed up. I for insecure, N for neurotic, and E for emotional. So definitely Mel didn't sound fine. She sounded... she was just getting her life back together again. And she was kind enough to let us know that Ashley, her daughter, is sent love to me, and I thought that was so cute. So I felt great joy about that as well. So Mel, great to have you back in the fold, sweetie. I also heard last night, and it was not joyful, that Corley in Boston, they had a tornado go down there, and I did sort of put out the word and ask if anybody had heard from Jenny Jen, because she spends a lot of time in Boston as well. So I haven't heard anything. I did send out a message to her via Skype to ask if she's okay. But of course, haven't heard anything back. But as soon as I do, I'll let you know. So thoughts and prayers for everybody. And then Jennifer wrote to me. And she's going through a tough time. So if any of you have got any room for some thoughts and prayers out there, could you just keep Jennifer in your thoughts and prayers, because she's going through a particularly tough time at the moment, and I think also doing a move as well. So, you know, a couple of major stresses going on for her life, and I've really recommended that she come and join us on the broadcast so she can get some support. Excuse me. And I hope that she does. Now then, I cannot possibly remember everybody that's written to me, because the joy of Benji's visit brought with it a little bit of an overflow of people writing to me and comments on videos and all sorts of things, and I've been struggling to keep up. I think I'm just about up to date. So if any of you have written to me and I haven't answered yet, I'll get to it. I'm pretty good about getting back to you within 24 hours most times. So I really do want you to know that's part of my joy, is to do that. However, I just need to mention the fact that I do actually work for a living, and so I'm doing all the vlog edits, uploading, and all the rest of it, and answering all the mail in my evenings. I don't have a life. Of course I do. But you know, I do it in the evenings, so I have a limited amount of time. And it's quite funny because at my age I wake up a couple of times in the middle of the night, and I nearly always do a quick check to see if anybody's left a message while I've been asleep, and quickly put an answer in, because it's one or two less that I need to answer in the morning. And then I get up early in the morning so that I can answer some before I go to work. So bear with me. I will not be able to remember everybody who wrote to me, but I definitely want to thank you all. It's really such a joy that, you know, when Benji is kind enough to mention on his vlog, or Benji and Judy, when they're kind enough to edit in a piece on the vlog that says that I help people, it's amazing how many people come to find out what we do. And I just know that that actually takes effort. It takes effort to come across and check me out, and it takes effort to then subscribe. And a lot of you have done that. So, but the big thanks, of course, and the big joy goes to Benji and Judy, without whom I would never have started doing this in the first place. And I keep making sure I remember that. Don't forget where all this started. You know, Benji saying, "I want to share you with the world." When I write this book, that will be the title. I want to share you with the world. So you know, it's always wonderful to get that many people who suddenly hear about you and want to check you out. Now, I did have somebody write to me, name escapes me right now, but you know who you are. Somebody write to me and say, you talk about we at the DearMamaSal network, and who on earth are we? Who's the we? And just so that everybody understands this, because I do it quite regularly in my broadcasts, in my vlogs, you know, I'm Sal. And I do what I can to support an awful lot of people. But as we grow, and we are growing fast, as we grow, there is no way I can help everybody all of the time. So we have a network of people now who help. And we include doctors, we include very caring people, we have people in wheelchairs, we have people who have had depression and got out of it, we have people who had agoraphobia, and they couldn't leave the house, have anxiety attacks. We have people who, like myself, used to smoke and managed to give up recently. We have all sorts of people in the network. And so when you hear me talk about the good that we do, it's not just me. I'd love to tell you that it's all me. You know, it's all about me, right? I'd love to tell you that, but it wouldn't be true. So I won't tell you that. I'm like the front person, if you like. And when I say that, my job, as I see it, is to be the, what would the word be? Coordinator of it all. So I have certain skills and certain talents that work really well. But then an awful lot of people growing and getting better. An awful lot of people, the way people heal is to have non-judgmental support. And sometimes judgmental, I've got to be quite honest. Every now and then, the peeps will tell you that I will up and hit you with a 2x4. You know, if there's a piece of reality that I see that you're not seeing, I'm afraid I will actually address it. Because maybe nobody's bothered to do that for you before. So, but the important thing is that you have a support group of people who really, you know, want to help you get better. Now, their job is not to be a crutch, but their job is to understand that you're going to go through good days and bad days. And whether you're going through a loss, as Mel was, or I was recently, and Ashley was, and a number of us went through loss in the last little while. Whether it's that, or whether you know, are smoking and you don't want to do that anymore, or whether you, like Katrina, know that you have a little bit of a mood swing going on and would like not to be doing that anymore. You know, you don't get to do that just by popping pills, in my view. You know, you have to sort of do more than that. If all you do is to take pills to try and fix yourself, you actually are not going to get very far. Or you're going to stay addicted to pills, whatever the pills are. In other words, I can't function unless I take these pills. But if you actually do life, and if you get support, and good support, hopefully, you know, there is a life out there that you never imagined. And so, this is who we are. This is the whole reason I started this. Well, the whole reason I started was because Benji, because he wanted to share me with the world. But, you know, he knows that my whole reason for eating and breathing every day is I love to help people. I love to be that person that you can tell your truth to. And some people do it publicly, and some people do it very privately. And there is no right way to do it. The main thing is, when you talk about your stuff gets a lot better. Now, somebody wrote to me in the last little while, last 48 hours. And they had some pretty tough personal stuff going on. And it had to do with a relationship. And one of the things that I am amazed about, and really, that's part of me that's very joyful about, is I used to be so messed up in relationships. I did not understand it. And I think I lived a lifetime not quite understanding it properly. So it gives me great joy today to have people write to me and ask me, things like, this guy, this is not what happened, but it's the sort of stuff I get regularly. This guy abuses me 3 days a week. physically, and then lies to me, and then does this. What do you think I should do? But I love him. I do need to tell you, I really love him, so I don't want to leave him. Yeah, I totally relate to these people. I was there in my life. And if any of you are tied into that sort of a relationship, I want to tell you something, get help. Please get help. And if you don't get help from us, get help from somebody. Because this is, it's a sad, sad world. And, whenever I talk the good stuff, I always try and have balance and talk the other side of it. So the opposite of joy is pain. And is there anything more painful than being, well, I suppose there is, but you know what I'm saying here, being in a relationship that abuses you, both physically, and then some people say to me, well, it's okay, he doesn't hit me. It's not okay. If he abuses you mentally, it is as damaging as if he abuses you physically. The only difference is that in a way it's worse. And I know that I've got viewers who totally relate to this, and perhaps we can have some discussion about this in the comments. But to be in a relationship where somebody hurts you emotionally, what's horrible about it, what's worse about it, is the fact that nobody else can see the scars. If you're in a relationship and somebody up and punches you, forgive me for saying this, but at least you've got bruises to show for it. When somebody abuses you mentally, and by the way, I've been there, I understand this. I've been in a relationship where that happened. And when somebody abuses you mentally, you end up being an absolute wreck. And they end up with all this power, all this controlling stuff. I didn't want to say stuff, right? They have taken control of your life. And they continue to control it by things like, they won't let you go out without telling them exactly where you're going, and maybe follow you, and it's like, excuse me? And so there is nothing joyful about living in an abusive relationship where the person in your life calls you names, calls you stupid, any of those sort of things. Thank you. Alright, obviously that's a big discussion, and I need to do more on that, because now that I think about it, I've had a couple of people write to me on those sort of issues. So we'll be doing a little bit more on the other side of joy, which is the pain. Alright, so everybody, I made it to work. I hope you have a joyful day. And understand that life isn't all joy. And if you expect it to be, then you're living in Disneyland. It's a fantasy. As you will find out if you listen to more of our stuff. Alright, I'm going to send you all a big virtual hug. Hope you have a wonderful, joyful day. This is DearMamaSal saying bye-bye for now.